So you want to make the jump from Windows to Linux. What distro do you choose? It can get really complicated. Let's try and just make this really simple. So before we begin, don't forget to like the video if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, link is down below to the merch store. Go get some great merch. Choosing Linux distros can be really hard. There are certain distros that are actually just really simple and really good for beginners, because while Linux can be entirely customizable, not everybody needs to be a coding wizard. Like if you were to just go with pure Linux and create your own operating system. Personally, I've actually used 2 Linux distros myself. Currently I'm running Pop! OS on my laptop, and I have used Fedora, but that was for school where I was trying to learn some coding, and probably will learn some more later. I think we're also supposed to learn Oracle. Not entirely positive. By the way, if I sound a little weird, it's because I'm a little sick still. Getting over it, doing really well. Just a lot of coughing. So, 3 distros that I just generally recommend to most people that are beginning, just because they're pretty decent at gaming in terms of quality, and also they're really simple to set up and run and not have to worry about it. You don't have to get into coding if you don't want to, and you don't have to use the command line if you don't want to. The 3 that I generally recommend, not in any order, is Ubuntu, Mint, and Pop! Out of the 3, if I were to really have to choose, I'd say Pop! OS is the one that, because I'm currently using it, I would recommend more, just because if you have an issue, I've probably run into it. However, I also know that Mint works very similar to Pop!, not for any unknown reason. They're both similar to Ubuntu, because I think they're still based off the same kernel, if I'm remembering correctly. It gets really confusing when it gets to Linux family trees. But my main reason for saying Mint is because if you're really extremely used to like just running Windows, Mint OS is perfectly similar to Windows in a lot of core functionality. So it's really easy and very just natural is the word I'll use, to where to find certain functions of the OS, and also how files work. These both can be run on really light hardware. For instance, my laptop is a 2-core processor that doesn't run that fast and is its own GPU. So, not a very fast computer. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's meant to just be like YouTube watching and Microsoft Word stuff. Not really meant for gaming. But I have gamed on it on Windows, so I'm sure I can game on it with Pop! OS, but haven't yet, just because I haven't had the need to, with a computer right here that literally costs around $2.5 grand. By the way, for the New Year's, I'm gonna do here a video coming soon on cleaning out your entire PC, how to, the best way. It'll be exciting, and I really need to do it. I purposely let my computer get this bad for you guys to really show how well a good cleaning can do. Might have gone a little overboard. So what's really, really nice about Linux is the fact that it can run on lighter hardware. What's not so nice is that it has generally a history of just not being that good in gaming performance, because not a lot of gaming companies make their software compatible with Linux. Valve, the company that makes Steam and the Steam Deck, worked with, I don't remember who they worked with, but they made a thing called Steam Play Proton. They made a list of a bunch of games that work on Linux and some that don't work on Linux due to anti-cheat. Because of how Linux is set up, a lot of anti-cheat just bricks the game for the user. Doom is a very big one for this. Same with Fortnite and things like that. Games that do work though are, and just natively, would be like Dota 2, Counter-Strike, Valheim, Total War, Warhammer 2, and also Stardew Valley. There are also games that work if you download Proton onto your computer. That way you can run these games through Proton, like Farming Simulator 19, Monster Hunter World, The Elder Scrolls. That's a nice one to get on there. Witcher 3, Age of Empires 2. There are a lot of games on this list that will work with Linux because of a Proton or just work naturally. I think another game would be, it would be Grand Theft Auto, one of the older ones. I can't remember exactly which one I watched. I watched somebody play it though. It was really good, looked good on it too. I think it was the previous one, not the. So we're on 4 right now. I think it was 3. So now that we've actually chosen a Linux distro to use, let's talk a little bit about how you would set it up. It's actually pretty darn simple on this. You would just go to the website of the chosen distro. So for instance here, just go right here, click the download key, and download. You can either get the Cinnamon Edition, the Matte Edition, X-Force Edition. Don't know too much about these editions, to be honest here, but just choose the edition that you want to use, and after that, you're going to want to download some kind of a Flash program, a program that'll just turn whatever USB you grab and upload whatever you just downloaded into a Flash USB, which will basically install the operating system onto that program, onto that computer. In this case, I would say Balena Etcher. There's a couple other ones you could use. The Balena Etcher is the one that's worked for me and most generally work. So once you get it downloaded, it's really simple. You just either flash from the file or URL. I always suggest the file. You select the target and you flash it. It'll take a few minutes for it to go through and work, but after it is done and set up, you have a working install manager for your Linux distro of choice. Congrats. After this, it gets a little more different depending on the operating system you're using and such. We'll talk about that a little bit more later in another video that's going to be coming up, so do get subscribed for that. You're not going to want to miss it. Specifically, I'm going to talk about how to download it onto a laptop. Simply because downloading it onto an old laptop is a great way to give an old laptop a new lease on life and keep running it for like 3-4 more years at the very least. So thank you guys again for watching this video. Don't forget to like the video if you liked the video. Subscribe to the channel. Also, link is down below to the merch store. Go get some great merch. If you guys enjoyed this video, how about you guys go check out the video I did on 10 good and 10 bad things about Linux. Because while there are amazing things you can do on Linux, it's not perfect, and it is important to know that before switching to it. Keep in mind, it's also not perfect with Windows or even Mac OS, but it is important to know these problems. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and have a great day.